Hi, my name is Israel Vasquetelle, and welcome to the Turntable, a roundtable discussion featuring business students in the music and entertainment space, as well as artists and anyone with a vested interest in the music industry. And today we have some amazing panelists, including Sergio Lugo, who is a music brand strategist. All the way from France, we have DJ Mystykal Kut. Thank you for being with us. And we also have a wonderful performer, Slendah.
Thank you.
And last but not least, we have a radio consultant with us, Yanira Cardona. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thank you for the invite.
Awesome. So we're going to talk about radio. So I would love to kind of start off, first of all, by kind of sharing the fact that people are still consuming music through, or at least discovering music on radio. So I'd love to talk a little bit about why you feel that is that people still gravitate to this medium when essentially we're all music program directors. We could all discover music and do every single day on all kinds of platforms. So what do you think?
I think what it is that when you listen to radio, you're learning what's going on in the community. So it's not just about music. Like when I travel anywhere and I want to know where the hot spots are, or what's a good night to go to, well, I'll listen to the station to see what's going on. And so people are still intrigued as far as like what's going on in the world. And since radio is free and it's so easy to access, I don't think it's ever going to go away, even with the different formats that there are now.
Radio is something that just people gravitate towards because they subconsciously and consciously listen to it. So whether or not it's on in the background, or whether or not they're in like the mall and it's playing on some speakers, or whether or not it's in their favorite store, you're listening to radio somewhere. And whether you know it or not, you're being programmed to like these things, you know, because of the repetition. So when you can kind of just control what's being played on the radio, you can kind of control what people like.
And it's not a bad thing, obviously, if you're an up-and-coming artist, to get some radio play.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, of course not.
Indeed. So I'd love to talk a little bit about some of your thoughts in regard to how an independent artist, maybe, you know, coming up that doesn't have a lot of connections, could kind of get their feet, you know, inside of the door and maybe get a little play on radio. What are your recommendations?
I get that question all the time, but if you get in contact with the radio programmer, that's the easiest way to get to get your song played, especially low power radio stations, especially because those are community radio stations, so those are a lot easier to get in. They're still FM stations. People still listen to low power radio stations. So college stations are another way to really get into. NPR also is an easy way to get your song played. And once those small stations, once they start putting your song in rotation, the other radio programmers are going to be like, well, hold on, this song is getting played a lot, this artist is getting played a lot, and then you'll start seeing it getting played in commercial radio stations, which eventually that's what any independent artist wants.
When I worked in college radio, a lot of the students would get to know the people who are doing the shows and who are like, you know, in charge of the music that we're playing. And so it was the artists who took the time to come up to the fourth floor and like talk to us in the radio, you know what I mean, and be like, hey, you know, I'm an artist and I really want to get my music on here somehow. At least like that's a chance of someone listening to it. And even if it doesn't fit my show, it might fit someone else's. You know what I mean? And so even then, those are music industry people, even at college radio, even at low power stations, you know what I mean? Those are still like, you know, gatekeepers, even if it's a small gate, you know what I mean? And that's a great way of networking too for artists.
Indeed. So in many ways, you mentioned gatekeepers, and they're also tastemakers, and I would imagine that's another reason why, you know, folks still pay attention to the radio, because you do have that opportunity for someone that, you know, maybe is in the know to play something that's up and coming, or maybe that they're going to make the next big thing. Speaking of that, we have a world-traveling DJ with us who also has about a decade of experience on the radio over in France, and I'd love to get your perspective as to, you know, what gets you to play a new artist on the radio.
Usually, a lot of people send me emails with tracks and everything. Don't do that. We get too much emails. I mean, if you a well-known DJ or you're doing a lot of things and everything, people know your name, they're gonna think I'm gonna send him an email and he's gonna listen to my music and play it because it's dope. Everybody think his music is dope, you know? So don't do that. Get to know us personally, or maybe if we have a common friend connection, get through him and give him the song. He's gonna give it to me. But yeah, get to know the DJs.
Indeed. So talk to us, Slendah, about some of the things that you've been doing to build awareness and build your audience.
Really, there's a lot of personal interaction, like has been mentioned a lot. So everywhere I go, it's more like, how you doing? I'm Slendah, you know, I make music, I'm an artist, and you never know who can be that person to just kind of help you out along the way. You know, I make sure that I'm willing to open my music up to everyone and every possibility. You know how I see things, one person kind of emailing you over and over again seems kind of annoying, but then 200 people messaging you one artist is more like, wow, I should check this guy out because a bunch of people are talking to me about him, you know? And that's kind of the mindset I have going into things, in a sense that like the people and the fans are literally what's going to make the artist, you know? So if you can get a bunch of people with one collective interest to kind of help that one artist, then it's really unstoppable. It's a powerhouse, you know? It instantly creates a network for that artist.
Indeed, indeed. So obviously, you know, as tastemakers, if someone's name keeps popping up, you know, you're going to pay attention to it.
Yes.
Good music always speaks.
Indeed. I like that.
If you keep working, you don't even have to send emails to radios, and just keep working. Your music is going to speak for you.
Exactly.
Yes. Indeed. So obviously becoming part of the community, especially if you have that ability in your backyard, wherever your backyard is. Speaking of that, how does radio maintain its connection to the community? Tell me about some of the things maybe that you've been involved with. You work with various radio stations that has allowed you to connect with the listening audience.
Well, I've worked with low power radio stations and I work with commercial radio stations. Low power is more of a community station, so I have to be aware of what's going on. So I go to a lot of networking events, a lot of chambers events. I introduce myself and I'm like, hey, let me know what's going on with the community, and we get ourselves involved. When I worked in the Jacksonville radio station for Northern Media, at that time there was no festivals going on for the Hispanics, and so I realized that in the community. So with my connections, I was able to throw 3 festivals, Latino festivals that had never been held in the landing. We had over 8,000 people attend, and so by getting involved with the community, your station people will respect your station more. They'll support you more because you're supporting them. So you just have to go out there and really, I go alone to a lot of these networking events and people don't know me, but you have to be outgoing. You can't be shy. If you want yourself to be known, you can't be in the corner, you know, reserved to yourself. You know, you got to go out there, get to know these people, introduce yourself, and let them know what you could do for them.
For the DJs, they send most of the tracks to record pools. These are companies that have listings of DJs in every country and everything. So they send the music to the DJs. So that's the most. That's how we work with the record labels most of the time.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed. And I would like to mention, as a side note, I had approximately a 10-year stint on radio. And one thing that I would say was very effective in getting us to pay attention to somebody maybe that wasn't already on our radar was for the artists. And it's something that happened unsolicited. It's not like we asked for it, but artists would actually make, you know, drops. They would make promos.
Yes.
They would make songs.
Exactly.
That they actually would include us into the actual lyrics of the song. And how could you not support somebody that just made a song about you?
Yeah.
So, you know, and obviously record labels in some instances were behind that, you know, but I think that's another effective way to, you know, to go ahead and get a little bit of attention on radio. Before we go out, I know you're going to perform for us. So I'd love to maybe get a little bit of insight into the world of Slendah. We got some retro, funky, soulful stuff happening. Yeah. How would you describe yourself?
Jack of all trades, for sure. I mean, I sing, I rap, produce, graphic design. I mean, I can shoot my videos, take my pictures, edit my videos, do all of it. But
you don't need a record label, I don't think.
I mean, marketing-wise, a record label, like you said, can never hurt.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So partnerships can never hurt. When it comes to my creative freedom, I like to keep that because I'm very open to doing anything. You know, I'm very open to maybe I'll do hip hop now, but maybe I'll incorporate country into my next hip hop song. You know what I mean? Just because that's the mood I'm feeling. So my niche is definitely funky hip hop, but I'm open to all genres and all possibilities of music. So I plan on expanding throughout all genres in the near future.
See you next time on the Turntable.